All right, day 3 is in the bag, and we are halfway through the second round here at Wimbledon 2024. The top 3 seeds on the men's side are still alive. We had Sinner coming through Berrettini today. Djokovic and Alcaraz are looking good, while some of the other seeds at Wimbledon so far have fallen. We're talking about Andrei Rublev in brutal fashion, Casper Ruud, Felix Auger-Aliassime. It's been a bit of a slaughterhouse here early for some of the seeds, some of the big names at Wimbledon. We're going to break it down. We're going to look at what's happened, and we're going to break down the Sinner Berrettini match because that was a diabolical second round for Jannik Sinner, as I said. Let's get into it. Here's the slice. All right, welcome back to the show. Sorry for missing you guys the last couple of days. We were moving studios, so we're back in action now, though, and I've definitely been keeping a deep, close eye on the action at Wimbledon. It's all going down, and it's great. I mean, is there anything better? Especially North America, West Coast, you wake up early, you get the matches, you get to watch, and kind of as you go through your morning, there's tennis going on, and you get to get locked in. You don't have to stay up late. It's great for the early risers like myself. If you're new here, welcome to The Slice. Thanks for subscribing. It's scientifically proven that you become a better tennis player when you subscribe to The Slice, so you might as well. Appreciate the support. And yeah, none of the really, really big contenders, at least on my list, my top 5, none of them have fallen yet, but there have been some other big upsets today and yesterday so far in the tournament. We're halfway through the second round. Like I said, we will get into looking at the draw and such after we talk about the big stories. To me, the biggest story was the Sinner Berrettini match. A lot of people, I had him coming in Sinner as the favorite based on his performance at Halle, and he got drawn. The luck of the draw, they call it. He got drawn countryman Matteo Berrettini in the second round, and that match was a very good match. Sinner wins 3 tiebreakers to take this one in 4 sets, and I just sat there thinking, there's a very good chance that this could be like a Wimbledon semifinal or final in the future. Berrettini's obviously been a finalist. Sinner is a favorite to win. He's already won a major this year, and it's just crazy because of how injured Berrettini's been. His ranking has suffered, and now he gets to play the number 1 seed in the world, or the number 1 seed in the tournament, and the number 1 player in the world in the second round. So Sinner navigated that very well. Tough match up, though, for sure for him. And in more smooth sailing, Novak Djokovic with the bandaged knee has looked great. A lot of people have been commentating that he's been moving gingerly, going out to his forehand side and hitting slices. But he's doing it. He's got the sleeve on, and he's through 2 rounds of Wimbledon. So that's no issues so far. We're gonna get into the draw, see what's coming up for him because it's gonna get tougher for sure. And Alcaraz as well. Nothing really to report. He's just chopping it up, doing his thing. So to break down some other matches here, guys who have not been chopping it up, Felix Auger-Aliassime, our guy, loses in 5 sets to Thanasi Kokkinakis. This guy. Yeah, so that's got to be one of the most painful losses for Felix in his career and in his last few years. And he's had a bunch of them. I mean, so Felix was up 2 sets to love into the 3rd set tiebreaker yesterday. And then after he loses, he goes into a 4 set, and right away, pretty much in the 4th set, it got too dark and Kokkinakis was complaining about wetness. Then they got pushed to the next day. But in that 3rd set tiebreaker, I counted 3, but when I went back, it looks like it was actually 4 match points for Felix, who actually started poorly in the tiebreaker, was down like 4-0, I think. Anyways, he got it to where he had 4 match points and wasn't able to convert any of them. One of them was a great point that he played where he hit a bunch of forehands inside out to the Kokkinakis backhand, and then he got a bit of a shorter one and came up to it, went cross court, but just dumped it in the net. And you're like that close from winning it. He lose that set. It's a tiebreaker. It is a coin flip, but you go delayed to the next day, and then Kokkinakis comes out. Everything's erased. You're just like, Felix, you got to win one of the next 2 sets. Can't do it. And Kokkinakis walks away with it. So that is just a dagger for Felix. I feel like he was playing better tennis coming into this, but that is his third first round exit in a row at Wimbledon. So maybe this is just not his tournament. Maybe grass just is not really his surface. I don't know. But I do feel like he's been getting unlucky. Kokkinakis this year. I remember last year or the year before, I believe it was Maxime Cressy or someone else like that. It was a massive serve. So maybe potentially unlucky draws, but definitely bad luck for our Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime. Casper Ruud goes out to Fognini. And so grass continues to be for golfers for him. It's just not his surface. That's not really surprising anyone. Someone who, could do well on the surface, Andrei Rublev. Another kind of depressing incident today or in the first round when he lost in the first round, and there's just more kind of like self-harm on the court for him, and he's just kind of made this pattern of freaking out, which has been, he's very angry, energetic or emotive player, so that's just his style, and guys get angry, but he kind of seems to take it to the next level. As we all know, we see him and it just looks like sad, like you're like, this is pain, like it's like that death metal he listens to, just pain. So I get it. Tennis is the most frustrating sport ever, but you really hate to see Andre like literally cause himself to bleed from smashing himself with the racket. So you hate to see that, don't you? Okay. Let's go to the draw. Why don't we? Let's start at the top here. So second round, we had Sinner, Berrettini, very tight match, 7-6, 7-6, 6-2, 7-6 for Sinner. He gets through that and he'll have a breath of fresh air. I think he will get through Kecmanovic, but he's kind of unpredictable, but that's a much easier matchup, I think, for Sinner than against Berrettini. Shapovalov took out Jerry, who apparently I've been saying wrong. I've been saying Yari, but apparently it's Jerry. Shapovalov will play. That's a great win for Shapo, I will say. 3 sets. He'll play Altmaier next, which is a nice match for Shapovalov. And then, he's got a sneaky little part of this draw, I will say. He's, then he would play Sinner, I guess, in the 4th round if he was able to get through Shelton or Harris. Not like that's going to be easy. Those guys have both play massive and have both had great 5-set wins in the first round. So that's going to be an interesting matchup there. Harris versus Shelton. And Dimitrov is through Lajovic. He'll play Shang in the 2nd round. Wawrinka's through to play Monfils. You got to love that in the 2nd round at Wimbledon. Shang, and there's Zhizhu Zhang loses to Struff, who will play Medvedev next. So Medvedev has got a bit of an upset alert on his hands there. Someone in the comments said I didn't even mention Struff in my preview. Fair enough. No hate on Struff. He is super dangerous on the grass, obviously, and that's going to be a tough one for Medvedev. He will have his hands full. Alcaraz hasn't dropped a set, gets through Lyall and Vukic in straights. No issues there. He will play Francis Tiafoe next. So people are wondering if Francis Tiafoe can turn his season around, and that's not an easy way to do it. I will say he's gotten through 2 matches there, Borna Coric and Arnaldi. Those are 2 good wins for Tiafoe, who's really searching for anything right now, but Alcaraz could be where the train stops. We're not going to lie. Nakashima through Baez and Thompson to play Humbert in the 3rd round, who is through Van de Zandschulp and Shevchenko. Hugo Humbert, keep an eye on him. I will say keep an eye on him. Tommy Paul, this is interesting, through Pablo Martinez. And then through Otto Virtanen in 5 sets. And you might think, why is Tommy Paul struggling with Otto Virtanen in 5 sets? Well, if you had listened to our podcast with his coach, Brad Stein, which I will try and put a link to, literally Brad Stein previewed these matches, Martinez and Virtanen, and said Virtanen is no easy player. He's 6'6". He's got a massive serve, and he called it being like a nightmare match in the 2nd round, and it did prove to be that for Tommy Paul. If you see the recap here with the stats, the summary, just a big Virtanen, only 11 aces, he had a lot more in the first, so Tommy Paul's a great returner, gets his racket on a lot, and you have a huge shout out to Tommy Paul for having a higher first serve points per one than Virtanen. That's pretty ballsy from Paul to be able to outduel him in that way. But yeah, 37 winners, 36 winners to Paul, 55 unforced errors. So obviously a lot can go wrong in Virtanen's game, but that is a tight match. Wait, how long was that? I believe it was like 3.5 hours. It doesn't say. Recap. Maybe it'll say here. No. Maybe it'll say. No, it doesn't say. Anyways, it will when we get to the scores page, but that is interesting. Paul plays Bublik next. That's going to be tough. That's going to be freaky on the grass. You never know. You just how do you prepare for Bublik? You just gotta. It's like more mental preparation than anything, I would think. Lorenzo Sonego loses to Batista Agut. Batista Agut sneaking through, getting a little bit of that vintage charm back potentially. He'll play Fognini, who came through Casper Ruud, as we said. So that is the top half. Bottom half, Rublev out in the first round to Comasena. That is pretty crazy for Rublev to go out in 4. And again, we talked about how that was pretty hard to watch. He'll play Walton, Comasena. And Musetti's through to play Darderi. And Mpesci, Pericard. Watch out for this guy. Takes out Sebastian Korda in 5 sets. Let's look at the stats here because I think there is some craziness from this guy. He absolutely smashes the ball. I mean, what are we even talking about here? 51 aces for Pericard against Korda, who hit 18 of his own. 51 aces. Still somehow won less first serve points as a percentage than Korda, but 51 aces is crazy. What an ace artist, a serve bot. So keep an eye on Mpesci, Pericard. He'll play Nishioka, which he might have 100 aces. Like that's an insane matchup from what we've seen, and he's got a pretty good chance, I think, to make the 3rd round to potentially play Tsitsipas or Rusevori. Tsitsipas is through Taro Daniel in 3 sets, no issues there. Fritz, Rinderknech, Kaboli, Tabilo through in 3 sets. And then Jack Draper through in 5 over Elias Ymer. 5 sets. The British hope, the British Batman is alive to play Cam Norrie, another Brit, in the 2nd round. Zverev through to play Giron, who's playing great on the grass, is a great grass player. So that's going to be an interesting watch one there for Zverev. Urkac through to play Fils. And Macek takes out Goffin, coming back from 2 sets down. That is nice. Franz Cerundolo, another seed falls in the 1st round. 26 seed falls in 5. Auger-Aliassime, 17th seed, falls in 5. Luca Pouille qualifies and wins the 1st round, coming back. No, he only lost the 1st set, but in a 5-set match, Luca Pouille still hanging around, still trying to make it happen. De Minaur through, Holger Rune through, Seyboth Wild through, and then we're getting down into the Djokovic corner. For some reason, I thought he had played 2 matches. He's only played 1 match. My mistake. People are going to roast me. People will roast me whenever I make mistakes on here. He's only played 1 match. He'll play Fernley next from Britain, who is a wild card. So that's a nice win for a wild card to cut through to the 2nd round. Let's just go look at the results here. The rest of the results from day 3 today. Mueller, like we said, Medvedev comes through in 4. Coco Gauff, no problem, 6-2, 6-1. Sorry, I guess we should go across. Naomi Osaka loses in 2 sets to Navarro in under an hour. A little bit bang, bang, 6-4, 6-1. And then we had Sinner Berrettini, 3 hours, 42 minutes, 3 tiebreaks, win 1 for Sinner. As we said, Raducanu through 6-1, 6-2, getting the Brits fired up. You should have seen. I literally had Sky News calling me about the fact that Raducanu was a Canadian, was born in Canada when she won the US Open. People went buck wild in Britain. So, hold on to your hats. That's the 2nd round win. Raducanu's into the 3rd round. If she gets through to the 4th round, it's going to be freaky territory for the British tennis fans. That's for sure. Paolini through, continues to have a great season. Casper Ruud not through, loses to Fognini, as we talked about. Auger-Aliassime loses to Kokkinakis. And yeah, I think we've gone through everything else. So let's go over to the ladies' draw and take a look at a few people's spots here. Let's look at Raducanu. She plays Maria Sakkari next in the third round. So if she can get through there, that would be put, and then she plays the winner of Zhu or Sun. So, I mean, you tell me who's going to get excited here. It's going to be the British fans. Qinwen Zhang loses in the first round to Sun qualifier, who then beats Staro Dubtseva. That's a tough one from Ukraine. But yeah, Emma Raducanu comes through Zarazua and Mertens. Now Sakkari. That is pretty crazy. So she'll be playing Sakkari. And on the top half of the draw, Swiatek is through Kenin, 6-3, 6-4. We saw that. Putintseva through. Siniakova takes out Stekusic, who that's tough. That's our girl from Canada, 19-year-old. Qualified, though, made the main draw. That's a great step for her. Caroline Garcia through. Ostapenko through over Tomjanovic. No drama. I didn't see it. Was there any drama? Let me know. 6-1, 6-2. Collins through 6-3, 7-6 over Towson. Let's just look through here. Haddad Maya through Kajukova. I'm looking for the other big upset. Here it is. Vondrousova out in 6. There is talk that her injury that she sustained, I believe in Berlin, was still bothering her, but that's a tough one for the defending champ at Wimbledon to go in the first round. That is going to hurt with the rankings for sure. Rybakina 6-3, 6-1, and Wozniacki, wow, over Parks 6-2, 6-0. There's a bagel. Parks had been having an incredible run, but the show stopped with Wozniacki. Wildcard will play Fernandez, the Canadian, in the second round. That's a great matchup there. We'll be keeping our eye on for sure. Kalinskaya, the Sinner girlfriend, Magic 6-3, 6-2. She's in the second round to play Buzkova, and Samsonova through. Ons Jabeur through 6-3, 6-1. Can she do it? We will see. Katie Bolter to play Harriet Dart in the second round, another all-British matchup. And Pagula through 6-2, 6 bagel. All right, let's get through the second half. We already looked at that. Sakkari through. Kasatkina through another bagel, 6-3, 6-0. A lot of bagels and breadsticks being handed out all over Wimbledon. Mira Andreeva, the young star, out in 3 sets to Fru Virtova. Yastremska through. Donna Vekic through to the third round. So we've got more matches here. We got a third round here on the second half. So Paolini through, as we said. Bianca Andreescu has beaten Christian and now Noskova to make the third round, where she'll play Paolini, who she did lose to, I believe, at the French Open. So that's going to be interesting. Marta Kostyuk through. Madison Keys through. Sloane Stevens through the first round, not the second. She got double breadsticked. And Navarro through Osaka, as we talked about. And the other big, Coco Gauff, through both of her rounds, 6-2, 6-1, 6-2, and then 6-2, 6-1. Sabalenka having to pull out of the tournament is a dang shame. I'll say that for sure. But yeah, lots of excitement on the women's draw there. Raducanu, for us Canadians, Fernandez and Bianca Andreescu, hello. And in general, there's lots going on at Wimbledon. That's kind of the last few days catch up. So we'll be coming at you daily now going forward with updates. Sorry about the few days off. Thanks for being here. What surprised you the most? Did any of these names falling on the guys surprise you? To me, I'm probably a bit biased with the Canadian, but I did think Felix was playing better and was going to get through Kokkinakis, but that is a really bad, tough first round matchup. Rublev losing to who he lost to is surprising, but Rude losing is not surprising, and there's always upsets on grass at Wimbledon because that's just what it's about. So anyways, that's the Slice Day 3 update from the studios here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you next time here